They spent the rest of the day cleaning up the mess from the sky craft, but the next day, Wanyenyekevu and Queen went back to screening everyone in the area. After 3 months, they had completed their mission, and only 1/8 of the city was rejected. Wanyenyekevu and Queen became close friends after spending so much time together, making their task easier once completed. They announced that the rest of the week would be spent resting, before the holy June. Many women spoke to Wanyenyekevu, and Queen appeared jealous of the unwanted attention. Friedrich saw the emotions and asked Queen to separate herself from Wanyenyekevu until after the holy June but did not explain why. A clock tower was built for the entire city to hear, and at 0500 Monday morning, it sounded for the first time. The town was closed off, and the holy June began. On the first day, Wanyenyekevu stood before the crowd with microphones and cameras pointing in his direction and started by saying, "The population here is about 13,000 people. We have 2,030 enlightened, roughly 65 men per enlightened. Some will take time, and others might get it the same day. Once you have found your gift, help those who have not found their gift." Looking at Obe, mind you, some gifts are not seen or not as obvious as others. But if you speak in new tongues, it's evident that enlightenment has been established. Take Daniel, for instance. We were unsure when he was enlightened because his gift was healing, so something had to be hurt to realize that was his calling. One thing is perfectly clear when you speak new tongues or see Friedrich glowing. You have truly been enlightened, for only those who are enlightened can see the Shekinah glory that overshadows Friedrich. Queen approached the podium. I am reminded of the Maroons, who were descendants of Africans in the Americas who formed settlements away from slavery. They mixed with the indigenous peoples, growing into Creole cultures such as the Garifuna and the Muskogos. It's fitting, I guess, that we should be these mestizos they are calling us. Mshika has taken all our differences away from us and created a new thing in Sabaoth through his sacrifice. Mletzi said this and I'm just now catching on. But it was so Tur, saying, "Those who you thought were your people will be your enemies, and your enemies shall be your people, your family." Don't think your people have become your enemies, for they were your enemies already because they loved themselves more than you. Queen handed the microphone to Dark Eagle as he approached the podium. Like Wanyenyekevu, I agree. I also would rather have a man who doesn't believe in Sabaoth with a kind and gentle heart in my presence than a man who calls himself a believer in Sabaoth but is filled with malice. With this being said, let us begin. The crowd cheered, praising Sabaoth with song and music, and many started singing. Soon many started dancing, and like a rushing, mighty wind like the day of Pentecost, many received that moment and started speaking unknown languages, French, Spanish and other languages unknown to them. It filled Wanyenyekevu with so much joy he, too, shouted and danced for joy. Those who came to assist stayed until all received their gifts, taught those with similar gifts how to use them, and tested their abilities. Dark Eagles, his wife, and Queen became empathic, feeling people's emotions. His sons had extraordinary touch, hearing, and vision. After 6 weeks, the city was reopened, and everyone was covered with the blood of Mshika. Dark Eagle and his 3 sons gave out the land as Wanyenyekevu and his warriors arranged their military according to their gifts. Queen was sitting in her room, and a thought came across her mind. Are there any clues? An addict asks a drunk to stop drinking. Did he forget that he was an addict? But to the drunk, he sees the other man, his fellow man, in a condition worse than he is. How can this be? A man who curses 24/7 asked a lady to stop smoking. Has he forgotten that what comes out of a man defile him, not what goes in? However, the lady who smokes asks the man, "Why do you speak the way you do?" And all he said was, "Because." A liar tells a thief to stop stealing, a murderer to stop killing. Need I say more about us humans? Finding fault with everyone, yet not looking at self. Not looking within. Complaining when winter is winter, when summer is summer. Never satisfied with anything. Gossiping and rumors, rips across your lips, and we don't know it. Or do we? The streets have created a name for us. But I will wait until later to whisper it in your ears. Why wait for later? Why hold back the tears? You are defined simply as a hypocrite. Have you forgotten that all come short of the glory? Or, none righteous, no, not one. Yet, for some odd reason, you believe you are right, even willing to fight. Not understanding that everyone is drawn away by their own lust and enticed. Your lust, your enticements, not mine. But yours. By you, because of you. Your weaknesses are not mine. Your strength is not mine. You are worried about what you think are my weakness, instead of worrying about your own. I understand how it was said that coming to God one had to be as a child. Humble and meek are the people he seek. So, be understanding, seek knowledge, speak with wisdom. We are not perfect. We all have faults. Believe me, I can handle mine in due time. What about you? With the words I've just said, are there any clues?